Hello, folks. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen, to East West. Your show host, Jack Chow, is serving you here. We're with GD TV. East West is a good show. It's a show that you see for many times. We try to cover all aspects of life. Right now, we're in the summer. We're trying to make every chance available possible to cover the education part. Speaking of education, classroom, schools are one thing. To enlarge the field of our kids or intensive reading is the other. So it all depends how many books you have read. So before we can come to a judgment about what kind of person you are. So it is so important. And today I dragged the Wednesday show to today is because schools are reopening and kids are going back to school. So starting this week, one after another. So
big week.
We better do it rather early than later. So that's why I'm here talking about the same book. It's the book that we've been talking about for quite a few times. And it is such an important book that I fell in love almost the first chapter. And it's written by this gentleman. His name is Mr. Ben Hemings, and I'm proud of him for having the great job done. And today we're still talking about word by word, trying to promote the idea. I'm not promoting you.
Correct.
I have to borrow the idea from you to promote the concept of educating our kids while we can, starting at an early age. That's why I try to focus using this summertime to do it. Now, word by word, and before that, and still, like the old routine goes,
Yes.
and we owe our audiences, especially who of those who just turn on the TV or just tune in to the station, and that little background to start with.
Yes. Well, I'm Ken Hemming. My main career was as a certified public accountant, but I've always had creativity in my soul. And I conceived of writing about what I think are the components for the ultimate personal value system. I wanted to share that with my daughter when she was 8 to 10 years old. Now she's 29.
All right.
So I was busy working. And so now I've been able to do this, and I'm blessed that you allow us to share our thoughts on this.
Okay, very good. The pleasure is all mine because it is a society that I look in this way. If you don't care, nobody will care because it's your community, right? It's your part of life. It's your own town. You're supposed to be the one caring about your town. If you do not care, nobody else coming from DC or down there in Florida will come over to care about your own community, right? Speaking of community, we're talking about the love to our kids because we love them, not for a reason, but for our future. Right now, the book is called Life Simple. As a matter of fact, to lots of people, they think life is so complicated that they get tired of it. As a matter of fact, it's so simple to this gentleman.
That's true.
And the reason saying that is because he has 100 magic words to hold on, to live by, right? Now,
I do.
So speaking of those magic words, though, we're down to M.
Right.
Okay. Now, in the M section, I have the first word, manners. Okay.
Yes.
What's your take on manners?
Well, manners is something you're not born with, and you have to learn about them, and you have to think about them, and hopefully you learn through your parents primarily, and then through interaction at schools. Perhaps you read and think about the proper way to live your life, and the important thing about manners is. You want to be consistent, okay? Because if, say, 10 opportunities to express proper manners come up and you miss 2 of them, and then people that leaves a feeling like, wow, what happened on those? So you want to be consistent, and it's very easy if you have an awareness of the value of these words inside of you, then they will just pop out at the appropriate time. But if you haven't prepared yourself for life by thinking about the words and what you should do with them, then you'll have speed bumps because you're not really prepared.
All right.
So manners is just showing appreciation, being proper. It doesn't even require words. Just a little movement of your hand to let a lady through a store or open a door or something like that. is a very fine manner. And smiles can be a very fine manner. And just a nod of appreciation is the same thing. So it doesn't require action, although action is often a part of manners.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah.
But it's bringing it into your awareness level, and then it will automatically come out because they're easy. Manners are easy. There's no guilt with them. It's a beautiful feeling when you do something right.
Sure. Yeah, speaking of that devil, though, I have been invited several times to classes to be a bystander,
Right.
to watch the class activities. I do see the word manner becoming a major problem or major concern because there is something that I could not accept and the teachers would not correct them.
Yes,
Right.
good
For
point.
example, of course, the structure of the classroom is set in a free discussion style, right? It is not a one speaker, the rest are listener, not that kind of pattern. It is everybody's chance to speak up like that. However, in the class, I do see kids with their legs up, right? Sitting on two legs of their chairs, rocking like this, right? Turning around, spinning around, things like that. So those things that we want to start, I don't know if they belongs to manner, it belongs in the territory of manner. But to me, it is that if we don't want to point that out, the kids might fail to recognize that is not acceptable. Do you think so?
That's a perfect example. I mean, I grew up, I went to school, and all of my teachers guided us not only in knowledge, but in how to be proper. You know, like I can picture the classroom you're saying, you're describing, and feet up or whatever like that, it's not quite civilized. So I think just being, you know, assembling in a civilized manner and then talking properly. When I run a meeting, I'm on a bunch of different committees, I always make sure you raise your hand and then I will call on you.
Exactly.
Be quiet until I do that, please.
Exactly. And I have been to several classes, even the teacher sits on the desk. And sits on the desk with legs kicking like this, while doing his or her part of talking. Okay, I have no problem to see them enjoy the freedom of the United States. Right?
Yes.
And as a matter of fact, that's why I'm here.
Exactly.
But class is class. Classroom is classroom, right? And those 45, 50 minutes is the time that you are supposed to be to show your best.
It's a formal setting with a formal purpose. The purpose is to teach and then to receive. And if you lose that control, it'll be very less effective knowledge sharing.
When you grow up, you get a chance to first face the society. People do not know you at all, right?
Boy.
All you know is the name. They say, this is Andrew, like this,
Yes.
right? My name is Andrew Lee or Andrew Smith, or something like that. That's all they know. But by judging the way you say it,
Right.
the expression you've put on the face, and the movement of your arms, legs, the way you sit,
Exactly.
and they know who you are already. Do you think so?
At least 30 words in here refer to first impressions. And you've got one chance to make a first impression. And if you blow it, it's so difficult to overcome an initial negative impression. Very difficult.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you want to prepare yourself with the knowledge of what contributes to a positive first impression, and then just do it.
Exactly.
And your whole life, your entire career, your family life will be smoother, better, and more effective. First impressions are hard to overcome if you blow it.
Exactly, you're right. You're exactly right. And speaking of that, I really have a strong feeling that in our classroom, at least right now, we're talking about the kids. Let the kids enjoy the new setting of the classroom or the freestyle setting of the classroom, which I have no problem with. On the contrary, we have to emphasize on that. When you're talking to your teacher, to your mentor, you really have to act like a student.
Absolutely.
Am I all right?
Well, yeah, and I think one big thing that you're kind of referring to too is the teachers have always had the support of the parents, and sometimes that's kind of slipped a little bit now. And so the parents need to encourage and educate the kids. Hey, you got to be a good guy. One of the words in this book is behave. Behave's very important because every minute of your life you have a chance to misbehave. I could misbehave right now. I don't choose to. Okay,
right,
so that's real important.
Right.
Behave appropriate to the circumstance you're in.
Yeah. When I was little, I was trained that, in a way that governs me all my life, even when I was 30, 45 years old. I still stand. I still choose to stand to talk to my dad because I feel more comfortable that way. When I sit there, I can't even sit like this. I sit like this. Yeah, like.
You're proud of your dad. You're showing your respect for him.
Yes.
You're showing your admiration.
Yes.
You're showing all of your positive views.
Sometimes my dad says, "Oh, come on, take it easy. You don't have to do that. Yeah, relax." No, I just can't relax. I feel more comfortable that way.
Yeah.
Seeing up straight like that. So, suppose if you go to a banker,
Yes.
you are asking for a loan.
Yes.
Do you talk to your banker with your legs up on the desk?
Only once. It won't happen twice. Okay, it won't happen twice. Right.
Yeah. Suppose you're on a date.
Yes.
Right. Talking to a girl that you want to propose.
Yes.
Do you put your legs up on the table?
Only if you
don't think
expect a no answer. Yes. It's all about respect for each other. Respect is huge.
Yes.
And propriety. So,
right.
in the right circumstance, you better act the right way, or your life will not continue as smoothly as it can when you're aware of how to live.
Yeah, back to our kids who happen to be in front of the TV watching this show, though, and I really want to take my friend Ben Hammonds together to sit here to share our experience, not only the book, but our experiences as guided, as triggered by the subject of the book, though, to talk about how we feel about the importance of being a person well-mannered. Remember last time we were talking about grooming?
Yes.
Yeah, and a guy well-groomed with an excellent manner?
Yes.
You're 50% successful already.
You're ahead of the pack.
Yeah, ahead
absolutely.
of the pack. Okay, all right.
And all it is just self-awareness of what's right.
Sure.
I mean, you go to see who's interviewing for jobs, and there are certain appearances. There are certain jobs where the appearance is not important, but there's many where the appearance is very important. If you need to project yourself as, say, intelligent or caring or timely and responsible, there's physical appearances that support that.
Yeah. There are lots of restaurants, small restaurants, especially small ones. When you go there, you find out people talk so loud.
Yeah.
They talk at the pitch their voice at the top of whatever they can, and you have to start yelling to your party because he or she would not hear you if you do not.
Yeah.
So those are things we really have to pay attention to. And take a short break. We'll be back talking about something else. We'll move on. Stay with us. Be right back.